now they don't have the time or the ability to make another bathroom, so they got the one
right
now.
Despacho, mucho despacho. Sí.
Margarita?
Yes.
You describe what we're doing right now. We're driving around in an adjacent neighborhood to where the church is, and we're just kind of looking around to see what assets, what they've got going here, if they've got any stores, schools, churches, people working in the neighborhood, quality of the housing. Basically took in a survey trying to figure out about how many people live in this area.
He's having trouble being able to find a job. He's worked like 2 or 3 days as a mason, but besides that, he can't really get a job anywhere because they won't hire him with right now. And so they say, well, we need new sheets, or my kids don't have shoes, and different things like that. And they try to find those things to be able to give them to him. And so I don't know where that leaves us. Is what we're trying to accomplish in this, is not just giving them these things. It's the idea of trying to help them out, move out of the situation of just putting band-aids on these wounds.
The church came over and cleaned up his yard, and that was a year and a half ago, and he hadn't done anything since. And his house is right back into the same condition.
You can see one house is made out of brick, and they have a car, and then the next house made completely out of pallets and roofing material. And that's the thing, is they're not together, they're just going for it. You can smell that, that's the garbage accumulated on the ground. You can smell that over the video. It smells great.
It's coming through pretty good. One thing that people say is you got to be ready to say why you're doing something when people ask you. Because missions historically has been about evangelism or social action, roughly. And so people say, well, we're not necessarily evangelizing, but we got to be ready when somebody says, why are you doing this? You got to have a response. So we haven't rehearsed this or prepared for this in any way. Let's say I'm walking up off the street, which I did, and I come up to you and I say, what are you doing? You tell me, and then I say, why are you doing this? What do you say?
I would say I'm doing it to show the community the love that God has shown me, and offering myself in service to help better the kingdom for Him. And honestly, I just want to help people and serve people and just witness to them in whatever way I can.
God believes in me, and He gives me love, and
Why is it important for the church to do that?
Because the community needs us.
Why do we do missions?
The Great Commission.
For those of us maybe not quite as familiar with that as we'd like to be with that.
Because I like Mexican food. Was that out loud? Going into the world and making disciples and meeting new and exciting people and not killing them.
So the discipleship process is long-term. When we look at our own discipleship process, we might say we've grown, we've not grown, we've shrunk even. So to really make disciples, it's a long-term proposition. Would you agree?
It's definitely long-term, and I think it's ever evolving and changing. God stays the same. He's forever and always. But I think the way that we need to connect with people needs to change. I think we need to be a little bit more sensitive to other people's needs instead of what we think they need, doing what works in a particular country.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the Great Commission was kind of a new idea, or has that kind of always been God's thing about having His people go and sending His people? Or did that change somehow with the coming of Christ?
Well, it's changed with the coming of Christ, but I think as individuals, as we grow and change, I think it changes within us. Because when you talk to people that have been in the mission field for 20 or 30 years, there seems to be a consistency there in what they do. Some of them are probably set in an old way that would scare off a younger crowd, and that's kind of what I mean when I say we need to evolve and change. We don't need to change necessarily the ministry, but in the way that we go about it needs to change and evolve with time and the application.